call to order. Let us stand for a solemn prayer and a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Noah. Here. Councilman Palmer.
Here.
Councilwoman Burrow.
Here.
Councilwoman Robinette.
Here.
Councilwoman Lipka.
Here.
Councilwoman Nelson. Mayor Jones.
Here, a quorum is present. At this time, I would like to announce that Eric Osterberg has resigned as city manager for the city of Ferguson. At this time, we are appointing Chief Hampton, John Hampton, as the interim city manager. Right now, we move to our public comments. Clerk Pittman, do we have anyone signed up for public comments?
Yes, Donald Stevens.
Good evening, council. As you know, that the redistricting proposal that was recommended to the city council, in our opinion, which is the Northland Hills subdivision, the Nesbitt Newton subdivision, and the Forestwood Neighborhood Association, we feel that the proposal was unfair due to the fact that there are 14 precincts on one little section of Ferguson that would be moved in the redistricting. And also up in Ward 1, closer to Ward 2, that was a small precinct that would be moved on that proposal. What we have done, we have submitted a proposal, redistricting proposal, in which involves 2 districts, 2 precincts from Ward 2 moving to Ward 3, 3 precincts from Ward 1 to Ward 3, and also from Ward 1 to Ward 2, 5 precincts. We feel that this is a reasonable and equitable, proportionate, and fair proposal. Proposal that we have submitted. We look forward to your input. We look forward to your guidance. And we know for a fact, redistricting is challenging, just like being the mayor of Ferguson is challenging, just like being a city manager of Ferguson is challenging, just as well as being a senator, just like being a council member of Ferguson. The jobs are challenging, no doubt about it. But you know, one thing, we have to get it right. We must be fair. So we look forward to the recommendation from the city council. We hope that the city council review it, analyze it, do it, delete it, and come up with a fair resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens.
Nick Kassoff.
Thank you.
Good evening, Nick Kassoff, 125 Royal. I have a couple of quick things this evening. First of all, a resident who lives near 405 Teston has repeatedly complained to me, and I've forwarded those complaints to several people in the city about recurring problems at 405 Teston. The police have been there numerous times. There's domestic situations that spill out into the street. There's reckless driving off with angry people in cars. And the neighbors, frankly, are fearful. The resident who lives there, she was too afraid to contact the city herself because she was afraid that it would get back to them and the boyfriend would retaliate. So I don't know who the right person is. I've emailed several people and not gotten responses, but if we can do something about 405 testing other than having the police come and diffuse situations several times a week, that would be greatly appreciated. The other thing I wanted to say tonight is a big thank you to our Public Works Director, Corey, to Eric, and to Corey's staff. We have got those speed studies together, that the device has been getting put out on the poles, and we're getting some really great data in. The most recent information was on Forestwood Drive. And believe it or not, we've got people, the average speed on Forestwood is 4 miles per hour faster than it is on Florissant Road. And we've got people going 60 and 70 miles per hour through Forestwood often. So if you are on the I Care About Ferguson Facebook page, we do put the speed studies out there immediately when they're released. We have summary reports and data. And we're emailing them to the city council and the traffic commission. So we'll be talking about these speed studies at our next meeting, and hopefully we can finally get a handle on what we need to do in terms of traffic calming and enforcement as that device works its way around the city. So again, big thanks to Corey and his staff and to everybody else in the city who's worked to make this happen.
Thank you, Mr. Kassoff.
Now to the online visitors, I have Alan Miller.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I want to start by thanking the Council for delaying action on Bills 7235, 7238, and 7239 to accommodate a public hearing on these bills. These bills propose major changes to the organization and responsibilities of the Zoning Board and Board of Adjustment, while eliminating the Housing Board and Architectural Review Board. It is my understanding that that hearing will occur at 6 o'clock on Thursday, February 9th. I don't believe that a meeting notice has been sent out yet. I was asked to send out an invitation, but that would be inappropriate since I have no official position within the city. It is essential that the city clerk, Elliot Liebson, or someone else authorized to provide public communications provide the invitation. Therefore, I request that meeting invitations be sent out as soon as possible to give everyone time to prepare for the meeting. The full text of the 3 proposed bills needs to be attached to the invitation. Besides a public posting, individual invitations need to be sent to everyone on the city council, to the appropriate city staff, and to all of the current members of the zoning committee, the architectural review board, the housing board, and the board of adjustment. On a similar topic, I hope you realize that 5 people making public comments at the last council meeting were all talking about the same set of problems arising from the lack of transparency. Besides the issues with the 3 bills discussed above, we have had numerous problems lately with transparency concerning the work of the zoning board and the Economic Sales Tax Commission. The comments from Ms. Erica Brooks concerning zoning board meeting notices were very important. Throughout the past year, agendas for many of the zoning meetings were not available on the city's website. I brought this to Ms. Pittman's and Mr. Liebson's attention several times. Meeting notices and agendas need to be posted and placed where they are readily visible and accessible. This is especially important to me as for the past many months, I have tried to attend planning commission meetings to stay informed about changes to the city's zoning ordinance. I shouldn't even have to go to these meetings to be informed. I asked Mr. Liebson many times to present the changes to the Board of Adjustment because the changes will dramatically affect our work. Nothing has been done. In reality, the changes could impact almost every board and commission in the city, and especially the Landmarks Commission, the Parks Board, the Traffic Commission, TIF and EDST, and business districts. Everyone needs to know what is going on. The zoning code change discussions cannot remain sequestered in secrecy at zoning board meetings, especially when those meetings aren't even publicized with agendas. Fair warning, If a bill for approval of the revised zoning ordinance suddenly appears on the council's agenda, I will request a several month delay to allow the changes to be reviewed by all of the stakeholders who are currently being kept out of the loop. It's that important. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Let me check, once again, I just want to make sure I don't have any,
Erica Brooks keeps saying she's trying to get in.
I'm not showing anyone pending though, Mayor, so I don't know if she's on the right call. I don't have anyone pending to let in.
No?
I know she mentioned that she sent a text saying that she wanted to speak, but I mean, I can, Erica Brooks, if you're there. Not showing anyone pending.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Do you have anyone else for public comments?
No.
Okay, public comments are now closed. We move to the manager's report. At this time, we will have a report from interim city manager John Hampton.
Mayor, Council, pleasure being here tonight. I'm going to give you a report from the fire department. We're in the process of switching software, so I don't have all the data for last year's, but we ran 4,201 or 2,015 calls. That's with fire and EMS. Once I get the breakdown, I will send it to council for your knowledge. We ordered one truck. It'll be delivered probably December 22 or 23 and or January of 24. The second truck will be here in July of 2025. We'll be going ALS by May of this year, which is advanced life support, and eventually be looking at ambulances soon after. 3014, which is our reserve truck. It's a 2008 Rosenbauer. Right now it's running out as our first out truck since our truck was destroyed in the flood. It's out for repairs right now. So you'll see us in a Maryland Heights pumper. So, but that's your Ferguson firefighters. They're manning that. We're looking at getting another vaccination event at the firehouse very shortly. Right now, COVID numbers are fluctuating up and down. Really, we're going by hospitalizations. And right now, hospitalizations are down. We really don't know our real true numbers because of the home testing. So if you feel sick, if anybody feels sick, please get tested. And right now we're getting ready for the snowstorm tomorrow, which will probably be closing City Hall because of the snow rate at 6 o'clock is going to be over an inch an hour. And our snow should get out of here by 11:30, 1 o'clock. That's my report.
Okay, Chief Hampton, can you share about Versailles?
Versailles Apartments.
Yeah.
Where we are currently.
Yes.
So we've developed a relationship with Versailles and it's a working relationship. I know the apartment has now hot water. That is something that I know the code enforcement and we've worked very hard on to get. I know there's some other things that are happening right now. I know we had a shooting in the parking lot, but that was not related to Versailles Apartments. So security there is going to be stepping it up. And we also are looking at Gene has some violations that he's been going through with Jason, the guy that's working on it. And they've been going through the violations fixing as we are, looking at what needs to be redone. It's just a relook at all the violations and they are getting fixed.
Is that the gentleman you said, Jason, is he an employee of Versailles?
So he is like a subcontractor. He does not work for the management company. He has his own company. And what he does, he comes in, basically fixes the whole thing up. So they are going to dump a lot of money into the place. They are looking at elevators currently as well. And then I know a lot more things are getting fixed like this. The fire alarm system is up and running. We no longer have a fire watch there. So we are heading in the right direction.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else has questions for interim city manager, Chief Hampton? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. That's in our manager's report. We had a special presentation from Gregory Stump. He is not here because of the snowstorm. He preferred to speak to the council in public, face to face, as to the financial situation of Ferguson. So he's going to reschedule and hopefully he could get a flight to come in and talk with us. Okay. We don't have a public hearing tonight. We move to our consent agenda. Our city council meeting minutes. We only have our special meeting minutes. I asked if you review them and do you have any corrections? Here none, I request a motion and a second to approve the minutes.
So move, Naquita Noah.
Is there a second?
Naquita just did.
You make the motion, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. I have it down as, I did hear Nelson, so I had it down as Nelson and Noah.
Okay. Are you ready to vote? All in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. The city council meeting minutes have been approved. We move to our board and commission meeting minutes. We have minutes from the Civilian Review Board for 12/5/22. I'm requesting a motion and a second to receive and file the minutes.
Second, Naquita Noah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We don't have any appointments tonight.
May I interrupt right there? I was waiting to get an answer from Ms. Pittman regarding an appointment, but I do have an appointment. I don't know, did you get a chance to check the
No.
paperwork at all yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, we're gonna take the time then to check the paperwork
Okay.
and check the taxes, but we will have an appointment to present to you for FSBD.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you, Councilwoman. We don't have any requests, proclamations tonight. We move to number 7 on the agenda, resolutions. We have resolution number 2023-4. Without objection, we'll introduce with council members present. Hear none, Attorney Carey, could you please read the resolution?
Yes, ma'am. Resolution number 2023-04. A resolution supporting the city of Ferguson authorizing the mayor/city manager to execute the necessary documents for forwarding the project proposal application and later execute an agreement for the Atmore Elkins Woodwinds project, federally funded through the 2023 through 2026 Surface Transportation Program, sub-allocated program grant commission.
Interim city manager, would you like to explain? This is a project that we started in April 2027 when you were the interim.
Yes.
April 27 in 2021. It was a project that you started with St. Louis Avenue, Atmore, and Woodwind.
So with the Weiss Group, we started a study on the amount of traffic that was driven in those areas. And we were able to get it on the STP. My understanding is we went with the Weiss Group and we were not able to get the last go around on the grant. I know we're going to try to resubmit it now. And that's what this is about.
Weren't we also, if I remember correctly, we were also trying to tie into the fact that the roads construction was going on Purcell, because what was happening in that neighborhood was that not only was it already a problem prior to that construction on the, is that Purcell? That's Purcell
Yes.
there. But with the construction on Purcell, it has exasperated the traffic on those roads. And we also have the issue of the fact that there's already a very high rate of speed that goes on in that neighborhood. Then you add the construction and it becomes a major cut through. And we've also had a lot of issues with the concrete slabs breaking and collapsing. So now our roads are even in worse condition because of the increased speeding. So this was all tied into, and that STP was an opportunity that we couldn't get before because now we could show it being a main artery or a more traveled artery.
That's correct. And I know the city has put some money into the street, obviously not enough to get it to where it needs to be, but we're doing the best we can. And with this grant, I think we can get there.
Also, city manager, please check with Corey,
Yes, ma'am.
the interim public works director, because I believe that he has already resubmitted a new application for this, so please check with him.
I will.
Okay. I'm asked for a motion and a second for approval.
So moved, Linda Lipka.
Second, Vader Nelson.
Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Noah.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Councilman Burrow.
Aye.
Councilman Robert.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Councilman Lipka.
Aye.
Councilman Nelson.
Aye. Resolution number 2023-4 passes. Thank you. The next item, bills required for first reading. We don't have any tonight. Bills required second reading. We don't have any tonight. We move to item number 10, unfinished business. We have the proposed redistricting. Apollo?
Yes, right. All right. So, I wasn't at the meeting last time when you guys voted it down. I know that you guys had some discussion. Although my firm did participate and I've also heard Mr. Mueller's, comments about some of the, I guess, perceived deficiencies in the bill and, making sure all the stakeholders are involved. And I'm not quite sure what the conversation was, but what I did was I invited my colleague Ryan Harding. You guys know Ryan, who's usually my usual stand-in when I'm not here. Tom, who also stood in, but he was instrumental in drafting the bill, and so I asked him to come in case the council wanted to continue the conversation, or I don't know if you had questions from the last time about redistricting. There were some, I guess, some thoughts that Ryan might have had that he might want to share. Ryan, do you want to maybe stand up?
Apollo, is this the meeting that we've had about 4 times?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't here for the last.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I am here to speak about Bill number 7237, which previously failed for lack of a majority of votes. As the wards currently exist, there's about a 22% difference between the ideal population in Ward 3. And generally speaking, federal law and city charter require us to have approximately equal populations between the wards. It would be advisable to get those ward populations at least within a 10% difference between the ideal population. So really, how I view the situation is really I see. Why don't we reconsider Bill 7237? A second option would be to request new maps from the commission. The council could panel that commission to suggest alternatives. And I wouldn't necessarily advise this, but the council could stick with the current wards that we currently have. But if it were to do that, I would suggest that we, issue some written findings of why we want to keep the wards the way they are. Because elected bodies are able to keep the existing wards. It'd just be good to have some factual statements to support those boundaries. So I'm here to answer any questions, but those are the 3 real solutions I see to move forward.
So,
Okay, wait a minute. Councilwoman Robinette.
So one of the options you said was to have the commission redraw. And I think that after almost a year of them working on it very diligently, I don't think there's an appetite to continue after that work by the commission. So that's not likely to occur. So I think that the work that they were, I think it was a mayoral appointed commission that they worked hard to do. I think that, it's fair, it's equitable. I believe that we should entertain the bill again and try to break the tie. I mean, I feel like however much time they put into it for as long as they did, why would anybody volunteer for something again when nothing that they said was taken into consideration? So that's my 2 cents.
Councilman Palmer.
As the commission proposed of the new boundaries, what was the difference between the wards and population?
They were very close. I think it only, at least according to the census data, I mean, they were only different between about 2 or 3 people per population. So they were almost perfect from a mathematical standpoint.
It's almost thousandths of a percent.
But one thing the council can consider is that, the Supreme Court does not require mathematical precision. It doesn't have to be a perfect balancing. Really, from a legal perspective, and I don't know the districts, and that's really more for your discretion, but from a legal perspective, is we at least want to get them within a 10% margin of error between populations.
Thank you.
Councilwoman
Um,
Porro.
This is the 4th or 5th time, I'm not sure, but do we have the opportunity, Mayor Jones, to, since you've brought us this information, legal, nobody speculating, to vote again and to pass this and move on? I don't see us redoing that. Personally, I thought it was a perfect presentation the first time around. And I think I even commented on first time hit, and it was good. I mean, you probably, after your research, find that to be true as well. Why we're sitting doing this, I don't know. And isn't there a time frame for this? We can't keep on doing this over and over. Somebody tell me, is there a time frame?
Yes.
I told, Octavia has contacted to the Board of Election, and would you share what they told you?
Yes, so initially, it was intended that this be completed by the April election. And so in doing so, we would have had to have whatever the plan is submitted by today or prior to today. And so now that we have not done so, so the charter says that the council has to do something, otherwise their proposal would have taken effect. The council did actually take action. So now their proposal does not take effect. So the council does actually have an opportunity now to reconsider. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, because of the February election, it kind of froze the wards anyway in terms of voting. So even if we were to submit something now, it would not take effect in April because of the February election. So there's not time to actually make the change effective. So it wouldn't take effect until the next election. So if there was some reconsideration to take place, there is actually an opportunity to do so now.
So, Apollo, question for you and for you, Ron. With that being said, can we take a vote now on the new information?
The council has the freedom to reconsider the bill at any point in time. if they'd like to. I just think we need to be cognizant of what Octavia just told us about when it would actually be effective. But you can reconsider it now.
I can make a motion. I can make a motion.
1 minute, I need to hear from Councilwoman Lipka.
So I guess what I'm, this is, I know Phaedra is well aware of what's going on, and I appreciate that, and I should have called you beforehand. But I'm not clear on what the concerns are. I mean, apparently it's a concern that's large enough to warrant Nesbitt Newton signing a petition, almost all their citizens and quite a few citizens out of the Forestwood area. So I would like to ask Mr. Stevens, but I know that that's not protocol during the council meeting. So I would like to ask anybody on city council that knows these answers, what exactly is the holdup with what was presented versus what they're saying? What is the heartache about it? Because obviously there is some heartache about it.
Okay, Councilwoman Nelson,
Wasn't so much as it was a heartache, it was the fact that
would you speak into the mic?
the residents of Nesbitt Newton
did their petition for not wanting to move their whole subdivision neighborhood into the third ward. And so we wanted to look at other aspects of how that the redistricting, although they did a perfectly great job on what they did, a lot of us saw that as a quick, easy fix of just taking that whole neighborhood and moving that whole neighborhood into the third ward. So we thought it would be fair to look at other aspects. I agree with Christopher when he said about looking at getting some current maps and looking at those maps as well. So I think that plus just looking at what other options, especially Mr. Stevens' options of what we have that can still be suffice in following the redistricting protocol and getting getting that taken care of.
So was it more a situation where a neighborhood felt like they got picked on a little bit in the sense of like the whole neighborhood got moved over? Because I guess from my perspective, I was like, well, that's really awesome. I mean, because I thought I saw it as a whole community being able to really build up Ward 3 to make it a much more viable ward. I mean, right now we have Ward 1, which is way too big, Ward 2, which is large, and then Ward 3 is like the stepchild, it feels like, and it shouldn't be that way. They should all three be very, equal so that they have a valued and loud voice. I mean, Ward 1 can say a lot of things and do a lot of things as a community, but then Ward 3 doesn't have the ability to do the same. So to me, I thought it was a compliment that the whole subdivision was given the opportunity to go to Ward 3 and be part of that change and that transformation of equality within the district count of the wards. That being said, that's just how I saw it. So there, obviously, I am at a disconnect somewhere with regards to how the citizens feel. So I get that I'm at a disconnect and I apologize for that. I didn't see it as a situation that was something that was hurtful by any sense of the word. I saw it as something as very, very positive. But what I'm hearing now is I'm hearing a couple things. So Ms. Pittman, basically you're saying trying to get it in before April ain't gonna happen. So we do have a little bit more time on our side now to do it the way that's gonna make everybody happy, because we are not gonna meet that deadline anyway, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the other thing that I'm hearing is maybe it's a situation where we need to have another workshop because we had one on September 20th. But maybe we need to have an opportunity to put 3 proposals up on the board. Mr. Stevens' proposal, the proposal that was originally submitted, and then any other change, I think the other, because what I'm hearing is that, am I correct, Phaedra, that there's 3 proposals, basically? Original, Don Stevens, and the other one? Okay. So we need to see those 3 side by side and see what the differences are, because I'm not against Mr. Stevens or Nesbitt Newton or anything like that. I did not interpret it the way they did. So that's where I came from. And I think, to be fair, we need to see these 3 things side by side and see how they compare, because we need to make sure that the 3 wards have loud, equal voices. I am done, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other observations? Okay. So the next thing, I don't think we need a motion on the floor, but we can agree to set aside some time to see the proposal and get additional maps like Ryan said, and look at it and come to a decision as a council. And whatever decisions we make after looking at the 3 proposals, that will be the one we will go with, and the bill can move forward.
So am I being denied to make that motion? Is that what
No,
you're-
it's
Okay,
not
I'd
a
like to make the
motion. It's,
We can make, motion can be made. So I would like to make the motion that we pass this and move on. That's my motion.
you want to put a motion on the floor for what?
Pass it, what was already presented.
So that was Bill 7237.
Can we go back and put a motion on the floor? A motion to reconsider? That's what it is.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's what I'm
make the
doing.
motion to reconsider.
That's what I'm doing.
It's been a motion on the floor to reconsider the past bill. What's the bill number?
737.
7237 to reconsider Bill number 7237. Is there a second to reconsider?
Second, Heather Robinette.
It has been properly moved and second to reconsider the bill that was on the floor. Are you ready to vote? Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Councilman Palmer,
Aye.
Councilwoman Borough,
Aye.
Councilwoman Robinette,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
No.
Councilwoman Lipka,
Nay.
Councilwoman Nelson. No. Councilwoman Noah.
No.
Could you please have the vote count, please? Can I please get the vote count?
There are 3 aye or yes and 4 no.
Motion does not pass at this time. We'll go back, we'll move forward to the idea of having the proposals, the 3 proposals come side by side, possibly looking at additional maps and make a consideration at that time. Is that an agreement? It is an agreement. Okay, so what we'll do, Clerk Pittman, get with you and the attorney and the city manager to get all the necessary things together to put out a date well in advance that these 3 proposals be looked at. The council will make a decision then, and then that decision will become the bill. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is new business. Do we have any new business?
Mayor, I do.
Councilwoman Lipka.
So this isn't instigated by me, but it's an awesome suggestion by our code enforcement director, Gene Diaz, to acknowledge a resident of the city of Ferguson, Jenny Edwards. We have a lot of strays and Jenny steps up and she takes the dogs in, she feeds them, she houses them, she takes them to the vet, she helps them get back to their owners, or she helps them get adopted. And she does all of this out of her own pocket. There's a lot of people in Ferguson that help her, but she is definitely quite the amazing dog lady. And if you ever want to see too, she also makes TikToks of her dogs and you can go on there and see all these really cool TikToks. She trains them. I mean, she is really has a special calling. And she's helped the code enforcement quite a bit. She has really given them a lot of support to the point that our director of code enforcement feels that it is time for us to acknowledge her goodwill. So I would like to put a motion on the floor that we acknowledge the citizen Jenny Edwards for her hard work with dogs in our community.
Is there a second?
Second, Laquita Noah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We will acknowledge a citizen, Jenny Edwards, for the work that she is doing and has been doing for the animals in the city of Ferguson. At this time, we move to the next item on the agenda. Councilwoman Noah, do you have anything to share?
I think we had old business, right?
No, we did unfinished
Oh,
business.
Okay, thank you.
And we did new business.
Okay.
So now we have miscellaneous. Councilwoman Noah,
Oh, no, everyone just be safe. That's it. Thanks.
Councilman Palmer,
Nothing tonight.
Councilwoman Borough,
Yes, I just want to, I got an email today that the St. Louis County Program Courts for Families and Juveniles, so going to restitution, have moved their date for volunteers. I've been an awardee for this for the last 15 years from PACT. And that's going to be Tuesday, April 13 on 2020. So it will be 5:30 to 8:30 at the center of Clayton. That's for the juvenile and restitution. PACT does that every year. Want to welcome Chief John Hampton back to the seat. Thank you for your service, for your willingness. Look forward to working with you. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise.
Anything else?
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Robinette,
Nothing this evening. Thank you. Except everybody stay safe.
Councilwoman Lipka,
So I know everybody needs to stay safe tomorrow, but once the snow stops, it's a wet snow. It's going to be awesome snowman weather. So go make snowmen.
Councilwoman Nelson,
I don't have anything tonight.
Clerk Pittman,
No report.
Attorney Carey. City Manager Chief Hampton.
Just want to let everybody know, be safe tomorrow, stay inside if you don't have to travel. And City Hall will be closed tomorrow due to the weather. All city buildings.
Oh, all
All
city
city buildings.
staffs. Okay,
Yep.
all buildings.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. My comment tonight is to be safe. At this time, I request a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
So moved. Second, Quita Noah.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Never done that.
I know.